Hello everyone and welcome to the International Racing League, round 17 of 27 here at the Duchy of Grand Fenwick. This track is unique, the Circuit 3 Seco. It is unique because it's the only track in the world to go through two different countries. The starting line and most of the first and third sectors are in Grand Fenwick, while the second sector, is in France. With this race, there will be 10 races left on the schedule, and the championship is heating up if you're the Team Rocket cars. If you're anyone else, you basically need to hope they have multiple DNFs, because your chances are you're not catching them. Word salad is delicious. With that being said, let's take a look at the starting grid. Danny Marco is trying to close up the points gap on the Team Rocket cars by qualifying ahead of both of them. Rule Carroll is having a very good Independence Trophy effort. Is on the outside of row 2. Bogard Daniels and Brandy Thorne, row 3. Row 4 is Jake Bennett and Viola Ling. Ling's earlier points lead has basically evaporated after battle luck and crashes. She's hoping to change that. Row 5, Pierre Lamont and Devin Butler. Row 6 as Chris Rigazzoni and Inge Harrison. Rigazzoni might be out right next year. Row 7, Rich Roy and Tim Courting. Row 8, Everett Masana, who is trying to keep in touch with the Team Rocket cars, and Kaylee Zappa doing a great job replacing the injured Matthew Evans, who might be coming back sooner rather than later. Row 8, Abe Jackson and Nick Bascom. Nick and Anna Bascom make it the first time that two twins have competed against each other in International Racing League competition. And they are both the first people of royalty to compete in the International Racing League, as they are the children of the Duchess. So, congrats to the Bascoms on that. Mikhail Sokolov and Edmund Berlin are on row 10. Row 11, Nathan Norman and Floyd Bordelon. Bordelon back in the Swift Motorsport 60 car. Row 12, Ryan Raver and Ryan Rexhaw, both the Team Star USA. Row 8 are Kyle West and Nate Smithley, both drivers who might be out of ride at the end of the year. Then Lance Hamilton, who's running out of cars. Indiana Bascom, Cass Brackman and Victoria Inanov, row 15, where we expected them. Holiday and Stashin, also where we expected them. Tanner Hill and Grainer, same place. Same with Slowly Souza and David Bison. Vieha Ryuho spun out during his qualifying lap, and Wesley Jewell went wide in the last corner and almost hit the outside wall, so not too good of runs for them. With the grid being set, let's get this party started. Danny Marco on the grid, as lights out and away we go. Great start by Edmund Berlin, that's for Earl Carroll, the 066. Both the Rocket cars also got a good start. Not so great start by the 59 of Lamont, as they are turn 1, 3 wide. Looks like Knott has gotten past Slater, and Jesse Knott is going to take an early lead, which is something she needs to try to keep the points lead away from James Cathcart. And that 15 car is not far behind. Marco side by side with Carroll, who's got Jake Bennett making it 3 wide, entering turn 2. Here's one of the more tricky part of the tracks, this little S section that no one seems to like. They keep 3 wide. Carroll almost loses the car, and Bennett almost went to the grass. But Danny Marco is falling back rather quickly, as we did have an off in the S, as we can tell in the second. You can see 3 wide behind them, 4 wide even in the back. But Danny Marco has lost about 5 spots right at the start. Here's Anna Bascom, the 963, making her debut. This is where we think the trouble happened. 3 wide of Lance Templeton. The 963 loose and into the wall, and hard licks for both of them. Here's Brandy Thorne on the opening lap, clearing Marco, now making a run on the 75. Thorne's title defense has been non-existent, but she's cutting her way through the field. Down into these two left-handers, side by side with Bennett. She got a rocket star at 13, and D. Thorne to 3rd. Bogart Daniels going to try to follow. Here's Nick Bascom, the 959 car. Dueling with Devin Butler, Kaylee Zappa, and Edmund Berlin. Again, we said this is the first time royalty has made a start in an International Racing League competition. Ben Bascom is doing quite well for himself. His twin had some, was already out of the race. Trying to keep it on the inside of Edmund Berlin, not an easy task, especially on debut. Up into this long right-hand turn to a final close out the lap, kind of with the mallet at Karyala. Bascom holds the spot, and here is Floyd Bourdillon, who is not too far behind him. Bourdillon is usually running in the 98 car for Frank Walker's team when Aiden Jackson is stolen by Ferrari. But still having a nice run, 3 wide with Smithley, Sokolov, and that's Everett Masana. Masana has said that she's going to try to keep out of trouble, which is good on her part, but her 2 major title contenders are near the front of the field. She almost puts the 57 into the 14, so she might be the reason why there will be trouble. Then there's still 3 wide exiting turn 1. I think Masana's got out of the way. As now side by side with Ace Smithley, who's been a bit of a wrecking ball all year. Either she's the one being wrecked or she's causing the wreck, which is kind of weird. Sokolov's gonna slide back a bit. That's Aiden Jackson in front of him. He thought about going through it for a second, but thinks better of it. And we'll have to concede the spot. Maybe actually just concede both spots. And here comes Ryan Rexhaw on the inside, and we'll get the spot. Danny Marco has fallen backwards. It's his team. That's his boss behind them. The 15 car also has fallen backwards, so front row now can run. In front of them as 13 versus 75. The 13 clipped the curb, and this is going to let Bogard Daniel have a run on this little straightaway. Side by side down the entering turn, or whatever turn number this is. Entering the pair of left-handers, Steve Thor kicks it wide, trying to get the momentum, but Daniels has the spot. Nice move made by there, and a few laps later, she's going to go after the 066, entering turn 1 with a low, if they look low. Crowell's going to try to fight it. Has the advantage off the corner, but looks like the acceleration, oh, hang on. Now it looks like the 75 had to fall back in line. So the 066 got a good run off the corner exit. Though here comes Bogard Daniel again, entering the S's. Daniel still cannot get by. Maybe she might though now, entering the right-hander. It's a little hairpin, and she will clear the 066. The Thorn slides up the racetrack and force them to maybe back out of it. Carroll onto the curb, almost into the 13. They did touch. They both save it. And well, Carroll's gonna fall outside the podium. Pierre Lamont, good run the 59 car. Technically his home race like last weekend. Though it didn't really go well. Lamont though having a good run. He's starting to form a train a little bit. Or he was at least. He's now pulled away from the 5 and 33. Here's Rich Roy fighting Tim Courting. He's gonna switch for sandwich because that's Zappa behind him. Courting hits the curb a bit. Roy rides the curb, going on the inside of the 50 as they come down the straightaway, entering these 2 left-handers. You can tell entering turn 1 and clearing the pass by the hairpin or entering these 2 left-hander turns have been a favorite passing opportunity by literally everyone on the racetrack. So I'd expect most of your passing moves to be there as he almost runs Courting out of the way, but I think that was more of a him getting loose scenario. Courting does give Roy a shot to show his appreciation, but I think that's going to be the setup end of it. Here's Kyle West and Ace Smithley. For reference, Rich Roy is running up in the top 10. Smithley's running in has the last point spot. She's fighting Kyle West of all people, who has been when the Akon A cars have been breaking down. She took a swing at the 80, so we missed something between the 80 and the 14 because Smithley took a swing, is forcing onto the curb and hooks the 80, and around goes West. Smithley on the wall as well. Yikes. And Kyle West, along with Akon A, again are going to DNF. What a shame, and I won't have to wonder what Ace Smithley was thinking. 70 pits. On lap 7, 13 is joining her. We expect teams to be pitting more on tires than fuel. Just on the nature of the circuit. It happens when 2 countries own custody of our track. Carroll, that is Cathart's, Daniel, and most of the other field pits on the next lap. Here comes Jesse Knotts down the main straightaway. The 13 is not too far behind her, so good stops made by the pair of them. Seeing where there's the 066. The 066 is in second, so we think. Yes. Or excuse me, that's the lead. No, that's second. Excuse me. The 75 car of Bogart Daniel had jumped up ahead of him. However, entering the left-hander, Nuts is going to have around the 66. Both get a little sideways, but Nuts takes second and is going to try to run down the race leader. Here is Nate Ormond and a whole gaggle of cars, actually. We got, oh, whoa! Bello threw it wide, and Ormond throws it in. So that was close. Anyways, battle for 11th. Ormond currently holds 11th. As you can see, running order on the top right-hand side. Is that going to update? There it is. This is about for 10th. Not 11th. It's a good run made by, literally all these cars. Ormond needs one. He hasn't had a win since Kansas. Roy definitely needs one. His year's been horrible, and he's trying to go 3 wide. Thinks better of it. Regazzoni now. Trent is getting hounded by Devin Butler. As Butler looks low, I think there's no contact, so we're good there. It's a first Butler. Butler, though, is going to have a run. He's going to look on the inside of the 24. Who swings that car a little wide. As entering this right-hander now, Ormond's on the curb and shoots back into Rich Roy, and the 24's around. So that's the second time a Roy car has gotten to the back of someone. However, from that angle at least, that didn't look as intentional as the 80 and the 14. Flap 12, 33 and 59, running in the top 10. And these two have had a quiet years, which is probably needed. Arison is gonna, she looked like she's gonna look low for a second. Thinks better of it. Battle for 5th, by the way. Arison has had a quiet year after Phoenix, and Lamont, after his repeated engine failures, also has had a quiet year. Arison on the inside can't really get it done. Well, that's kind of changed as soon as I said that. Entering the right-hander, though, the hairpin, and she will have the spot. So nice move made by Arison. She's going to try to run down Cathart. Meanwhile, Cathart's teammate is this car. Jesse Knotts, who is running down the 75 at a rate of knots. Behind her, DeThorne and Carol are fighting for 3rd. Nothing, well, it's kind of been the story of the day. Looks like Carol doesn't have the pace to keep up with the leaders, being the 75, the 70, and 13, but is able to keep up with them on strategy, which is going to be interesting as this race goes on. DeThorne looking low, entering turn 1, the Ferrari, looking for any possibility, looking for any way to sniff past the 066, let's put it like that. As they come down the straightaway, entering turn 2, they're still side by side. I think Carol will try to scare her, excuse me. Doesn't look like it's going to go well. Carol still trying to hang around the outside, might have the advantage as this turns into a left-hander. The 13 almost slides it wide. However, DeThorne's going to have the advantage now on the inside once again. Nice movement by the 13, but brilliant defensive effort made by Carol. And DeThorne's signaling she's pitting. This is about a lap after that battle. DeThorne is in, and so is Knotts. Here is U66 pitting the next lap. So it looks like we can go about 14 well, you almost spelled pit road. It looks like we can go about 14 laps on tires, as Knotts passes the 3 who's hitting the pit lane. Worth noting, the 75 hasn't pitted yet. There's the S66, the 13 missed about a hope. There's the 13. So DeThorne did not have a great stop at all. Here comes Knotts trying to get around the outside of the 066. Carol cuts her off, but DeThorne just says, fine, I'll go around the other side. No big deal. Nice move made by Knotts, just gonna get her into second, or at least provisionally second. Because Bogart Daniels is still circulating. She has not pitted yet. And here is the 75. Actually, that was fast for 3rd, because Inge Erson also hasn't pitted yet in the 33. So the Scandinavian sport cars are trying strategy, as the 75 comes out ahead of the 70. And here's Inge Erson exiting the pits, and she's going to come out ahead of the 066. So a nice pit strategy gamble made by the Scandinavian sport cars. DeThorne, or that's not DeThorne, but DeThorne's right there. Carol is going to try to get 3rd back, and that was a horrible stop made by the Ferrari gang. This puts DeThorne down into 4th at the moment. Or, yeah, 5th at the moment, excuse me. Carol gets to 33. And now the Thorn's gonna try to look on the inside. Here's the helicopter cam of something. There he is. Focusing on the 33, who's sliding backwards to the 15, throws it in there. Okay. Alright. Contact between the 33 and 15, in front of him is about for second. That's gonna get the 15 through. I don't think Arison's impressed with that, but I don't think there's gonna be a penalty because, well, no one crashed. Very good reasoning behind that. Arison falls to the outside the top 5. As you can see, Carol held on to the spot. Danny Marco, some of you were wondering where he went. They had the hood up under the first pit stop cycle. Sorry I missed that. But he's running around the back. So another good day for your points leader. This is another helicopter view of the 15 of James Cathcart trying to get around the 066. There he is, right-hander. D. Thorne just got past the 066 about 5 seconds before we cut to the camera. As now, Cathcart trying to make it 2 team rocket cars on the podium and trying to get back, trying to limit the damage to the points that Nuts is going to be getting by running second all day. As they enter this little right turn 1, and Cathcart still side by side with Carol coming to the main relay. He might get him by the time they're turn 2. And it looks like he will, so Cathcart's on the podium. No, Carol's coming back. Late braking move on the 066. Nice defensive effort. Good, Cathcart runs off the road. So good defensive effort made by the 066, but Cathcart is coming back now on the outside and will take the spot. Raul Carol is fighting for his life. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked up by some by a team that's not in rallying. Knots pits the 70. You can see she passed the 75 car when we were focused on the battle for third. So we missed that, and so did the Thorn. Also pits the 15 and 066 pit the next lap. Here is the Thorn. Station is pitting on the 26 car. There's Knots in front of her. See a Ling, and that's someone else pitting behind the Thorn. She's gonna get out behind the 15, the 066, and almost gets passed by the 59. Ferrari are letting her down as Nate Ormond's blocking Rich Roy. I can't blame him. No, granted that accident was self-inflicted. I can see why Ormond's upset. And wants to blame Roy, because it's never your fault, is it? And that can be said for all drivers. It's never the driver's fault. Roy shakes a fist. Now, okay, this is getting ridiculous. There are blue flags out. I'm not sure why Ormond isn't exactly paying attention, nor why the series hasn't stopped in yet. Probably because Berlin hasn't jumped all over the back of him yet. Berlin throws it in. Okay. Getting it a bit close there. Anyways. In Garrison pits the 33 car on lap 23. Here comes Carol on the inside. Dithor on the inside of Carol on the main straightaway, side by side. This is lap 24, by the way. You can see they're passing the 33 and the 19 who are in the pits. The 19 we haven't really focused on, but she's having a nice run. She's climbing her way through the field. Carol's going to try a crossover move on the 13. Doesn't look like it's going to be much of it. I think that far right is just a bit too powerful. Which I really can't blame her. Blame him. Excuse me. Dethorn trying to hold off the 066. Looks like she's gonna start to pull away from the Carol, as that is Bulgar Daniels coming to the pits on lap 25, and she will hold the lead. As we're looking at Jesse Knotts just to show the gap. There she is, and there's the 75X in turn 1. Here are the two Swift Motorsport cars. They haven't found any trouble, and they've been fighting with each other all day. So it's been a nice, clean run for the pair of them. I think something they needed. They've been needing. Entering the last turn, Zappa has a run on her T-motor. Coming down the inside, you see Floyd Bordel's ahead of these two as well. So nice run by all three of them. Zappa still side by side, Korchik not giving her any room, or I mean, he's giving her room, but not cutting her some slack. Maybe some contact, but nothing major. Exiting turn 1, they're still side by side. I think Zappa wants to complete the move by the time they get out of the hairpin, which isn't a bad passing spot. as we've seen all race. But Courting looks like he has the advantage. Zappa, though, is coming back on the inside. As through this little left-to-right chicane, Zappa almost dips her tires in the grass, keeps it on the pavement, and is going to get past the 50 car. So, nice move made by Zappa on her team owner, and I think Courting might just let her have it. Jesse Knox now has run down the 75 car at a rate of knots. That 75 car doesn't look as fast as it did in the earlier runs, so I wonder if there's a the 75 car might have the engine failing. Doesn't sound like it on the team radios, but it's still something to keep an eye on. No one seems concerned over at Scandinavia Sport, surprisingly, as Knox looks slow exiting turn 1, side by side, down the straightaway, and Knox will clear before they even get to turn 2, so either that 75 car is just that bad and they're doing that good on strategy, or Knox is just that quick, or there's an actual problem with the 75 car. Here's Floyd Bourdillon working over with a Ferrari of Chris Regazzoni. Ferrari's had a horrible year, and well, the Thorn and Regazzoni finally looked like to be on getting on its stride. The only problem is it's way too late in the season to make any reasonable points run, as Bourdillon on the inside of 55 will clear him. So in his limited starts, Bourdillon has impressed in all of them, and this car, the car that has changed owner multiple times, is running 9th in the points. Casper Ackerman has been the model of consistency. And also, like I mentioned, the 020 car, a nice comeback through the field. But these two cars earn the points along with Aiden Jackson, who's in front of these two. Here is Devin Butler, who, 60 cars gotten past the 55 and 5. Devin Butler, though, has been giving himself a reputation for smashing into things, as there may have been some contact there for a second. I thought it could be nothing. Then the 55 is near around the 5. Butler trying to look in the middle, thinks better of it, though. Bennett into the car, but around goes Butler and Bennett. That time it's really not Bennett's or Butler's fault. They all just kind of ran out of room. Knotts hits the pits on lap 26, so right around that time when that accident happened, and we have another car in trouble, and it is the other Universal Motorsport car of Pierre Lamont, who's right inside the top 10. He is now slowing. I think there's a tire down or something. It might be something more, because that car, I don't think he's getting up to speed. I think he's losing speed, and he might have to park it on the inside. So, yes, he will. So the first caution in the race, lap 26. To make life a bit more better, the Scandinavian Sport cars are trying to pull some sort of strategy. They pit it right before the green flag. I think they're expecting more chaos on this restart, and you can see them both in the pits. I don't think that's going to happen. Green flag, lap 29. Not many laps left in the race. As Catherine's already jumping on Jesse Knox to try to get past. She's going to take the lead. The Thorn's trying to follow him and might make it 3 wide, but thinks better of it, kind of. As you can see, lap 32, not 29. I'm tired. As Cathart looks underneath the 70 car, can't get it done. As they're on the apron, apron being Cathart hit the little dirt patch. The Thorn is sliding backwards. The 70 had a bubble. This allows Cathart and Maverick Masada to sneak through. 3 wide behind them. As contact, the Thorn's been contact with Caro. We have chaos. We have a bumper tag everywhere. Everyone keeps in a straight line. There's surprised there wasn't a bigger wreck than there was. Here is Rich Froy in the back of the field. Let's see, too big. Oh, well, 55 got loose into the 10 into 29, and everyone saves it. That could have been bad. Nice heads-up driving by everyone, and nice heads-up driving by everyone after the fact to not cause a bigger collision. As Roy is now 3 wide with Jackson and Regazzoni. Regazzoni may have just chopped off the Ferrari Junior driver, and this is going to help Roy grab a spot. Now, the Thorn has fallen backwards. So has Knox. Knox is fading fast. There's Floyd Bourdillon making a move in the 57 for the podium spot. The Thorn trying to hold off Carroll. Snowplow's wide. So is the 066. This is the Thorn over on the 57, maybe. It might have stalled out, but the Thorn's going to still have a look on the outside. And entering the second hairpin. And nothing real. If it's Zikov has a look on the 70, nothing's there also. Roll Colorado also has rear damage from somewhere, I'm not sure where. Then, though, the Thor throws it on the inside of the 57, coming down a lot on this little right-hand bend. She's gonna be on the outside as they enter the final few turns. She's been making the inside work on this penultimate turn. That hasn't really worked out wonders, but she keeps her foot in it. She's on the inside of the 57. Tim Cortingham's has had an adventure in the background. That's that yellow car. Around the outside, still nothing there. Sokolov holding on. The Thorn trying everything she can on the outside. This is great racing. Not many laps left in the front of Grand Fenwick. D. Thorn is going to finally clear the 57. What a move around the outside by the American, the reigning champion, proving what she still got. But Sokolov once more. Sokolov once fifth. Don't think anything's going to happen. Here he comes down the inside. Entering turns 2 and 3 for the rest of that section. On the inside, he might have a run on her. Entering this little bit, almost thinks it wide. They keep it clean, and around the inside goes the 57. The Thorn trying to keep her foot in it, but can't. And Sokolov inside the top 5. So nice move made by the Russian. As the Ferrari's falling backwards. Meanwhile, in front of him, James Catherine's under so much pressure from the 19 of Everett Masana. Masana's looking low. Catherine throws a block. No, how long is it before will Masana peek up before turn 2? Catherine's pulling away a little bit. Contact. The 19 gives him the bumper. Here comes the Toyota driver, who is trying to keep her championship up his left. Floyd Bordelon's in third and is sneaking, looking for blood. Here comes Masana, clears the 15 as Bordelon, I don't think it's close enough. Hang on. Catherine hits the curb, slides it wide. So, Catherine's mirror driving might just cost him, as here comes the 60. Bordelon. On the inside now, entering the 2 left-handers, and Floyd Bordelon, after a mistake made by Cathart, is going to be in second. And Cathart might even move more spots. He's mirror driving a lot. Here comes Knox. These two reportedly do not get along, which is kind of a problem. They're also fighting for the points lead, so I really don't care. As Cathart looks like he might be able to hold off at least one car, and hold on to the podium to stop it. Here comes Knox. Knox keeping her foot in it, looking on the inside of this little left-hander, though nothing really seems to focus. However, they both sled wide, and Sokolov is closing in, and so is the rest of the field. We're looking at here's Trent Stash, and Dan Marco's trying to make a comeback. They're both on the inside of Caitlin Tannerhill, who's having I think remember what she expected. Tannerhill has hit the curb into the 26. This sends her into the 79. Marco still lays on the bump at the 26. They both go to the wall and they both flip over. A spectacular crash on the straightaway. For really no reason. This won't draw out a caution because it was near the rear of the field. But here, I looked like just 3 wide gone wrong and the others ran out of room. Here's the 26 on board. Everyone was able to climb out the car. But yeah, it looks like the 26 forced the 65 low. The 65 shot off the racetrack, and then he just got hooked on the 79's bumper. So big crash over there. Here's the onboard of the 79 car. So entering these little S bend. Looks like they all slide away. He's got one of the Toyota development drivers on his outside. So they're 3 wide now, entering the right-hander. And here's going to be the quick left-hand. The 26 is going to force the 65 low. They probably would have been fine once with the 79 there, but then they... Wow! Marky just hooked the 26 for some reason. Okay. That was uncalled for. I thought they just made contact just at the racetrack. No. And here comes Bascom and Antonov in, and they're not good on fuel. So it looks like the Scandinavian Sport gamble might have paid off. And it looks like the 19 is backing off a little bit, and this is allowing Floyd Bordelon to close in. Floyd Bordelon has had really not had the greatest luck. He's a winner start to his day, but he was driving the 98 car a few weeks ago. Actually, Grava City, I think. Well, he didn't score any points, but it was still a decent run. Now he is currently running down Everett Masana in his second or third start, I can't remember, looking for his first career win. And he's definitely gaining. Masana thinks in fuel-saving mode. Here's VLing the other Toyota and the Toyota development driver of Wesley Jewell, as they're getting held up on the fields, navigating Ace Smithley, who hit the pit lane. Nasty Thorn was checked up, and the Thorn's going to have problems now with the 11. Leon Lynn, the point, is trying to keep her points lead as well. As you can see, Floyd Bordelon's all over her teammate. It's 11 slides. Jules sees an opportunity. Can't really get much of it done. Now, Jules trying to make it 3 wide. Jewel is fighting for all he can as well. He might be replacing, if the rumors are true, he might be replacing the 11 guard. Authority's on the curb. And here comes Wesley Jewell, the British stuff. The British driver. This is great stuff here in the dying stages of the round of Grand Fenwick. And now, with a lap and a half ago, Floyd Bordelon versus Everett Masson for the race lead. If anything happens to these two, it will be a Team Rocket 1-2. As Floyd Bordelon, I don't think it's close enough. Yet. That's the key word. As they enter the left-hander in this little right-hand bend. Great stuff for the, excuse me, during the, in the dying stages. Floyd Bordelon and Everett Masson both started in the rear of the field, and they both have really made their way through the field. Masson has been doing it a little bit more cool and calculated through the strategy. Bordelon kind of just showed up, but was right outside the top 10 points before that caution came out. So great runs for both of them as they're coming to the white flag. Last lap here in Grand Fenwick. Does Floyd Bordelon have anything for the American? He just might exiting turn 1. Excuse me. He is looking low, not close enough yet. No, he is not. The German trying everything in his power to get past the 19. He may have another shot again, but Masson looks like he's pulling away. She's pulling away. Has Masson saved enough fuel and tires? Bordelon's looking low again. The 19 car running really wide in the turns. As she's, I think, straight to mirror drive. Mirror drive it. Entering turns. The right-hander Bordelon has a run. There's touch. There's contact. They keep it straight. Masson's gonna have the inside line, entering the turn. She hits the curb, blade and slugs the line as well. Bordelon can't capitalize on the mistake made by Masson, and she holds the lead. Coming to the straightaway, I don't think there's any other chance. She's pulling away from Bordelon. As Catherick closes in, Bordelon late breaks, cleans a little bit of time on the 19. As they're entering the final sector. Does Bordelon have anything? Can he maybe make it around the outside of the last turn? He's close this time. Really close. But no, Masson's the better acceleration exiting the turn. As coming on upside, Bordelon looks low, not close enough. Great stuff in the dying stages of the round. He is really closing in. He might have a run in the last turn if he can make this upcoming turn perfect. Entering the second to last turn. Now Masson is close, is clear. Bordelon is closing a bit though, entering the last turn. Last time, Bordelon really closing in. 19 slid a bit wide down the straightaway. I don't think there's enough. Remember, Masson is going to hold off late charging Floyd Bordelon to take the win in Grand Fenwick. Wow! What a finish, and that's not a big gap. The Team Rocket cars finished a second apart from each other. Mikhail Sokolov was the only one car of that team to finish. So a good run for him. Nice runs by Ling and DeThorn. Our cameras missed it, but there was a photo finish between the two, and Masana. It's not Masana. Excuse me, DeThorn barely got it. Regazzoni, Wesley Jewell, and Tim Corning all round out the top 10. So great runs for both Ferraris. So they needed, especially also runs for Berlin and Roy. Roy also needed that. Caro probably wanted more. David Bison for 36 on the grid. Nice run by him. Zappa, Ackerman, Jackson, Rojo, Rickshaw, and Daniel all running out the top 20. Daniels and Arison's points gamble did not work. Tanner Hill and despite her near miss, good finish. Bascom and Grainer finish at the points, and you can see Cathar is losing more ground to Knots. And Bogart Daniel could have had a huge point today, but her strategy messed that one up. Series is going to be ending its European tour in the United Kingdom for the route at the St. Lawrence circuit in Wales. We hope to see you there.